Welcome to another episode of Crypto TV. I'm Ornella Hernandez, here to talk about all things Web3 and crypto. Today's topic is artificial intelligence, so the projects and tokens to keep on your radar, and of course, Ethereum's Dencun upgrade. We also have a special guest, so stay tuned. We all know that artificial intelligence has reached a massive inflection point in the past couple of years as its development and adoption have accelerated, due largely to large language models, or LLMs as they're called, which are question-answer tools such as ChatGPT or Bard. But I wanted to tell you guys about a new tool that's currently in the works that I learned about recently. Let's get into it. So last week, I attended an investor meeting in Dubai at the DIFC, or the Dubai International Financial Center, and it was at the Co-Investing offices. Co-Investing Capital is a licensed private equity fund and venture capital firm that is heavily invested in decentralized finance, DeFi, tech, and artificial intelligence. It recently co-hosted an event with an AI company called Cambridge Artificial Intelligence Studios, headquartered in Cambridge, UK, and with operations in Dubai. Two of its founders traveled to Dubai for this event to present their latest project, and I got to interview them. Their names are Sharom Chabra and Vatsal Reina. They both hold PhDs from the University of Cambridge in the fields of medicine, engineering, and machine intelligence. And so do the other two members of the leadership team. One of those members is actually Vatsal's twin brother. Look at these photos. So since I've only met one of them, it makes me question if they're actually really twins, or maybe they're just an AI double. No, I'm kidding. But what is really impressive about all this is that the four of them together hold a track record of over 20 plus publications in major machine learning conferences. And they have experience at companies like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, tech giants. Turns out that they turn down job offers with large salaries from these companies, such as Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, to build their own product that's called Herd. And the first implementation of it is on Hero.io. Here's what they told me about it.
We want to bridge insights from the forefront of AI research and start to bring them into industry to develop really high-impact AI solutions. So that's what we do. We look at research in the field and develop AI products.
Okay, out of Cambridge, correct? All right. So what are you doing in Dubai then?
So we're very excited to announce that we've signed an exclusive partnership with Co-Investing Capital for two things. Firstly, we're developing a contextual platform for AI and specifically decentralized finance. And secondly, we're starting an incubator in Cambridge for AI companies.
So the AI engineers are building a product from scratch. It's not an API. And they are extending beyond the question-answer model of ChatGPT and other language models. And the kicker here is that they are integrating logic that can extract patterns and insights behind the data, unlike other LLMs. And there's also a Web3 angle, so you can search anything you want about crypto, the market, and the history of blockchain tech. They also told me the following.
So ChatGPT does the first layer on information that's available all over the world, right? What we're doing is, yes, we're providing synthesis of information. So yeah, you want to find out what is Bitcoin, how does it work? We can provide that. So can ChatGPT. What we're trying to do is we are incorporating proprietary data sources that ChatGPT doesn't have access on or isn't being trained on. And secondly, we've got an architecture in place that enables you to develop insights. So we're not just providing you information, but actually the AI in the background is looking for patterns and correlations in the data to inform investment decisions. That's really the massive domain shift that we have from ChatGPT.
Okay.
I think one more driving force is that models like ChatGPT at the end of the day are just large language models. And what we mean by a language model, it has a really strong grasp of English, but it's not necessarily good at logic. So what we're trying to say is we have a mixture of models behind it, which are being able to do the complex tasks of deriving these insights. And models like ChatGPT, not necessarily ChatGPT, are just collating this information and synthesizing it in an easy to understand manner for the end user.
All this to say that the actual product will be a Web3 search engine and private browser that utilizes AI. It will be released in Q3 of 2024 exclusively on Hero.io, which is an ecosystem of tools for the Web3 community. So there's a Hero private wallet, a Hero merchant payment gateway, and a private browser. like Brave, for example, which doesn't track you and your searches. But Brave and another browser called Opera are private. But they're not crypto-centric, nor do they have an AI crypto search engine. Hero, on the other hand, will have an API for their search engine that any exchange or Web3 project can grab and put it into their dApp or dApp store. But I got a sneak peek of this latest AI Web3 search engine that is currently in development. And you know what? It's refreshing to actually see that this project is being built by actual AI scientists, and it's not just hype. There's a real consumer product there. So what do we think, everyone? Would this tool be something that you would use to help you research and invest in crypto? Let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, check out Hero.io, and I will keep monitoring it as it progresses and keep you guys updated with any advancements. In other news, Ethereum news, a big upgrade happened this week called the Dencun upgrade. Let's talk about the name before I tell you what it is. So it sounds like Dunkin' from Dunkin' Donuts, but no, it's actually a mix between two upgrades happening simultaneously. We have Deneb, which is the upgrade on Ethereum's consensus layer, and Cancun, the upgrade on Ethereum's execution layer. So Deneb plus Cancun, Mexico, equals Dencun. So what's it supposed to do? Dencun is the first major Ethereum upgrade since the merge in September 2022. Do you remember the merge when the blockchain switched from a proof-of-work protocol to a proof-of-stake system? The merge reduced the Ethereum blockchain's energy consumption by 99.5%. Well, now it's been a year and a half later, and the goal of this latest upgrade is to improve the blockchain's scalability, efficiency, and security. What we really care about, though, is if the upgrade will significantly reduce transaction fees on layer 2s, like Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, Base, etc., because the gas price has been too high. So let's hope that all these small little tweaks to the network will actually lead to better network performance, including a key feature of Dencun, which is what they call blobs, to store data for layer 2 networks that's supposed to reduce storage costs and congestion. I'm not going to get into all the technical details here, but basically, for users, Dencun significantly reduces the transaction fees to use Ethereum layer 2s, and for crypto projects, it makes Ethereum more attractive to build on. So less fees paid equals more money to be made. And if you're an Ethereum user or ETH investor, don't worry, you don't need to do anything because it already happened. So just watch out for any messages saying that you do need to do something like bridge your Ether, for example, or download some file or whatever. Don't. It may be a scam. What isn't a scam, however, is these rising Ether prices. The price of Ether has blasted through $4,000 this week. The last time that Ether was this high was in December 2021, over 2 years ago. So this rise is partly in thanks to Dencun and also to speculation of a spot Ether exchange traded fund and ETF approval in the US. The odds for an approval are still unclear, but with the way things are looking, I would say that it could happen within the next year. And coming up this weekend is something very, very important. The NVIDIA AI conference on March 18. It's gearing up to be a big moment for cryptocurrency enthusiasts and investors. NVIDIA, the tech chip maker, is a powerhouse in artificial intelligence technology. So as a result, the spotlight has turned to AI-driven cryptocurrencies. These digital assets present unprecedented growth potential now that we're in a bull market. And so here are some AI altcoins to watch out for and to buy if you want, according to CoinMarketCap. First up is the Layer 1 blockchain Near native token Near. The protocol will be presenting at NVIDIA's conference this weekend, and Near hit its highest price level since May 2022. The price action has been spurred by Near's co-founder and CEO, Ilya Paluskin, attendance as a speaker at this upcoming event, and the introduction of Near's new AI product called Near Tasks, which has led people to think that Near might work closely with NVIDIA in the future. Near's gains are mirrored across the entire crypto AI market, with the likes of Render Network, Fetch.AI, FET Token, Bit&Soar, Tau, Ocean Protocol, Arkham, PAL, ChainGPT, and Oasis Network, or the Rose token. And this is all according to CoinMarketCap. Now, there's something else that I want you guys to keep your eyes on, especially if you're a gamer. And this is something called super fungible tokens. Bear with me here. You've heard of fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Now say hello to super fungible tokens, SFTs. Because recently, gaming giant Sony has filed a patent to create super fungible tokens for video games. So these SFTs are a bundle of NFTs that are tied to in-game assets. Think skins or weapons that make it easier for users to transfer, sell, and trade their in-game assets. SFTs are stored on the blockchain. And this is big because gamers spend billions of dollars on in-game assets each year. In 2020 alone, gamers spent around $54 billion on skins and weapons and other things. And skins may or may not serve a function. It may just be purely aesthetic. Like wearing Jordans doesn't make you dunk better, or Louis Vuitton doesn't make you more French just because you wear it. These are purely status symbols. But hey, when I look good, I feel good, you know? So that's why NFTs, and now maybe SFTs, are a game changer because they allow you to own the assets that you buy in-game. In theory, you'd be able to sell or trade your in-game assets as NFTs, or you could bundle them together as an SFT. For example, you can trade one skin and one gun for another set of skins and guns. Take an item from one game and directly transfer it and use it in another game that supports the SFT infrastructure. So this will probably take a few years to actually see and implement, but I think it's pretty cool that a gaming giant such as Sony has NFTs and SFTs and blockchain tech on its radar. And now, if you're interested in a discussion on crypto and institutional adoption, then you don't want to miss my next guest on Crypto TV. Don't go away. And today's guest on Crypto TV is Samar Sen, who is the head of Asia Pacific for Talos. How are you today, Samar?
Hi, Ornella. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
Good to have you. Where are you calling from exactly?
I am in Singapore right now, which is the hub for our APAC business.
And how is Singapore today compared to Dubai?
Yeah, the sun is shining, probably similar, but I'm guessing more humid over here.
Yeah. Yes, that's for sure. All right, Samar. So you are the head of APAC for Talos. Tell me just how you got there. I know Talos recently opened their base there. So tell me how you ended up moving to Singapore.
So Talos was formed in 2018 and rapidly gained traction over the years. And a couple of years ago, we launched our APAC hub, given the amount of clients that we were onboarding from the region, so that we can better service them out here. And given that we also have a 24/7 coverage model, as crypto markets are. And so the Asia office just helps us geographically be closer to our customers and to serve our customers globally.
Definitely. Okay, so you guys serve the institutional demand. So tell me a little bit more about the mission behind Talos and what your vision is going into this year of 2024.
Yep, sure. Thanks. So Talos is a B2B software as a service provider. We sell trading technology that's at an institutional grade, and we sell it only to the buy side and sell side of financial service providers. And so what I mean by that is on the buy side, we sell to firms like hedge funds, asset managers, things like that. And on the sell side, we serve banks, brokers, custodians who want to enable trading, and fintech and e-trading apps who have their own retail customer base. And the problem that we solve for them is we help them with their trading infrastructure from pre-trade to post-trade. What happens in this digital asset world is that when institutions want to work with crypto or enable crypto services for their end customers, they realize that a lot of the tooling that's out there is actually built for retail. And so when they want an instant use of liquidity, aggregating that liquidity, using algorithmic execution to get a best price or a best execution when you trade at larger volumes, these are some of the tools that we provide these firms. And the mission of Talos basically is to be a single point of entry to connect to the digital asset ecosystem whether you're a firm on the buy side or the sell side.
Okay, so let's get into that more. You guys identified this need for institutions way back when, and now I think in the past few months, the demand has been growing a lot, especially given the Bitcoin spot ETF approval in the US. So institutions are officially in. There is a demand for crypto, and as they buy more and more crypto, like you said, there is a need for tools that provide like order management when it comes to infrastructure, management of portfolios. So that's where Talos comes in. So can you expand a little bit on how the scope of that demand is growing and how you're meeting it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, in the early days, the institutions that were investing in
were maybe some crypto native funds, as in like hedge funds that only traded crypto. And they were the first clients of Talos. Later on, we started to see some hedge funds move in. And then we saw a lot of demand from the buy side. Maybe those were OTC desks of exchanges or some FX brokers who were trying to enable digital asset services. And so we launched our white label product that serves the sell side. More recently, as you mentioned, we are seeing a larger institutional involvement, given that you've got some regulatory clarity coming on things like ETFs for Bitcoin. And so some larger asset managers are coming in. And of course, the people who run these ETFs are going to need to connect into the market, trade efficiently, get in and out as their subscribers subscribe in and out of their funds. And so in terms of the services provided, as you mentioned, the first kind of product that we launched was connectivity to the various liquidity venues, because liquidity was quite fragmented in the early days. And so being able to, with one API to us, being able to connect to 50 different liquidity venues is a real time saver and an engineering saver for many of our customers. So that's one piece. And then the second piece is on the execution side. You mentioned order and execution management. And this is where we provide more advanced order types and complicated algorithmic execution. Things like TWAPs, which help you execute large trades and save a lot of money by being on the maker side of the book. Examples like that were some of the next products we built. And then beyond that, like you mentioned, once we got comfortable serving our clients started asking us for complementary services up and down the value chain. Down the value chain, they would say, can you help me with my treasury management, with my operations and settlement? And up the value chain, they would say, can you help me with my portfolio management and my risk management? And so we've gone beyond being just an order and execution management system to more being a full suite of products across the trade lifecycle.
Okay, I see. And so, Samar, what is your role in all of this as head of APAC? What are your priorities?
Yeah, great question. So when I came on board, the founders knew that we had a really good product market fit, and we wanted to make sure that the Talos product was getting into the hands of all those customers or potential customers from all geographies that really had this pain point of wanting to connect and triple digital asset trading for their end customers if they were on the sell side. And so when I came in, I was employee number one in APAC, and we launched our offices. We hired some really great talent from sales and account management staff to product and engineering and customer support staff as well. And my mission in Talos in Asia is to ensure that we are present in every country that has a need for our products. And that means building the markets, educating the markets, working with regulators to show that we provide tech that professionalizes the ecosystem among brand building and culture building.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges when it comes to that type of work and some of the most rewarding aspects about your job?
Yeah, so look, challenges, there are many. I mean, particularly to the APAC business, the region, you've got, it's a very fragmented region. People kind of lump APAC as one region, but actually you've got dozens of countries with dozens of different languages. So when you are trying to sell or help customers in all these different jurisdictions, it's not easy because you have to be on top of all the different regulations. You have to know what types of customers you can help and which ones you have to wait a little bit later for, what kind of languages you can support. All those things make it complicated but fun, right? And some of the highs in terms of being in this region is that, see, in APAC and gradually moving out to the Middle East and Dubai as well, right? We are seeing a lot of pioneering hubs emerging where a lot of crypto leadership and like I said, some of the pioneering crypto companies are building their headquarters. And so you are, very close to some of the founders of very interesting digital asset companies that are going to be playing a large role in the future of this ecosystem. And so being close to that innovation geographically and business-wise is one of the most rewarding things being out here.
Okay, I love that. And yeah, you're right. The Middle East region is growing a lot. A lot of institutional companies are moving here, and the demand is growing as well. But can you speak a little bit more to the regional trends that you're seeing? Like, I know, in the US, for example, regulation is the biggest thing, and I'm sure in other regions as well. But is there any trends specific to the APAC region that might be unique to that region?
Yeah, I can give you some high-level trends, right? So since the early days, you've had some financial services hubs that have really shown that their regulators understand the asset class, understand the potential of the technology, and have been, fairly quick to regulate, to provide clarity to companies who want to operate there and help them in their innovation, but to innovate responsibly, and also to protect the retail investors so that they're not hoodwinked or fall afoul of some scam. And so we've seen, for example, in Singapore, the MAS being a great leader in that aspect. But beyond that, there are great things happening in Hong Kong now as well, where they have come back and given some guidelines and pathways for firms to offer digital asset services there. Japan has been in the mix for a long time. Australia is fairly mature too. We have many customers there. Thailand. And so in between, across all these various countries and hubs that I've mentioned, what we see is almost collaboration between centers as they educate each other and have this kind of friendly co-opetition
For digital asset services with
consumers and investors who are interested in this asset class and comfortable with taking some risk in new asset classes that are exciting.
Did you just use the term co-opetition? So cooperation, competition?
I did.
I like that.
In a way, people often talk about Singapore and Hong Kong as being friendly competitors, and I see it play out every day, but in a positive light, where actually the regulators share knowledge with each other, and together they grow the ecosystem and propel it forward. And for us in Asia, when we see customers or institutions deciding to locate in Singapore or in Hong Kong, it's just better for growing the overall pie, because all these different centers have their own strengths and weaknesses.
And what would you say to an institution that is still hesitant, maybe, about getting into blockchain technology and integrating it into their offerings?
Yeah, so look, there are many different institutions have different rules and regulations to abide by, right? And so we have to respect that. That's the most important thing. If you are a crypto fund that's private and you have your own pool of investors, there's probably less things for you to be worried about when you take your plunge in building a crypto portfolio. If you are an asset manager that's highly regulated and taking pension fund money, you really want to make sure that you have, when you work with this asset class, you have all your I's dotted and T's crossed, in the sense of having a proper institutional grade setup when it comes to your custody, when it comes to your trading, when it comes to your tax and clearing and settlement and everything like that. And so I can understand why there is a difference in the various institutions that have interest in working with digital assets, how they're at different trajectories right now in terms of how mature they are and ready to work with the asset class. What I can see is that the trend is is generally towards more and more acceptance and institutional adoption. And we are one of the companies that helps usher in these firms by giving them professional toolkits that they're familiar with from other asset classes like FX and equities.
Yes, and you guys have worked with some major firms and clients, and I know that there's also been a few partnerships as of late. Maybe you can get into a few of those and the significance. For example, Nubank, which is the Brazilian neobank. So you guys were, the point of that partnership was to meet that growing demand in Brazil. But maybe you could talk about some of your personal favorite partnerships.
Sure. So when we talk about partnerships, there's two ways to describe that, right? So one could be that we have onboarded a new customer, and that's just exciting in general for the market because that customer, if they're on the sell side, is going to be able to offer their end customers, sometimes their retail, much better pricing. And so that's exciting in the sense that we may have onboarded a new customer. And for example, we've onboarded a new bank in Brazil, as you know, but there are many other customers that we're onboarding all over the world on a weekly basis on the buy side and the sell side. Many of them are, big names, and, we do success stories and we talk about who they are on our website. And others are more private and they don't share that they work with us. That's fine. The other type of partnerships that we often talk about are the integrations we build into the back end of our platform. Because the more integrations we build into our platform, the more useful our ecosystem becomes. Because when you plug into the Talos network, then without building any more connectivity, you can talk to X number of exchanges, X number of dealing desks, X number of custodians, X number of prime brokers. And so the more of these integrations that we build, the more widespread and connected our Talos network becomes. And we often celebrate those as well. And so, while we continue so on the custody side, for example, we're integrated with all the top custodians and always growing that. On the exchange side, we continue to build integrations with all the major exchanges and OTC desks. And we are also integrating with prime brokers and other types of providers. And we talk about those in the press all the time. And often these things come about because our clients ask us to build them.
Can you name some names here and give me some of your favorite ones or partnerships or clients that you're just most excited to work with?
Yeah, sure. So look, in terms of the integrations, we recently integrated with the CME, which is a big deal. We've integrated with Laser Digital, which is another big deal. And so these will continue. On the client side, we support so many customers on the buy side and sell side. I don't even know where to begin. On the sell side, we are powering, like you said, Nubank, but we also power firms like Wintermute and firms like OSL. They are all like good clients of ours and really great names.
Okay. You mentioned Laser Digital. So Laser Digital is under Nomura, and I know you guys helped launch the Edx Markets. Is that correct? The exchange?
That's right. The Edx Markets is one of those additional institutional grade liquidity providers or venues that has already integrated with our platform. So if you are a Talos investor and you use our trading platform, you can access Edx Markets already. And by the way, more and more, one of the trends that we see is that as institutions come in, they are demanding integrations with more and more regulated liquidity venues, because not all liquidity venues are the same in terms of how transparent they are.
Right. That makes sense. And so when you say liquidity venues, the goal there is just to find the best price at which to buy cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, so the way it works is that we connect to all the liquidity venues that our clients want to trade at. And that involves a combination of the public exchanges and the more private OTC desks and dealers. And the reason why we connect to many of them is because when our customers trade, they can kind of aggregate the liquidity of all of them. And if they're doing a large order, they can ensure that they execute their order at the most favorable rate, comparing all of these venues. And also, if you're in a choppy market and some of these exchanges or OTC desks, they go down, you can make sure that your order will still be filled because we have a lot of redundancy built in when we connect to all these different markets, so that you can make sure that your order still gets filled.
Okay, I understand. And Samar, is there anything that you are particularly excited about in this given time, given the current market, given that Bitcoin hit $71,000? That's huge. Like, are you happy about that? Like, what else are you seeing in the market that excites you?
Yeah, look, there's a lot to be excited about. This is what I tell people who we're interviewing, and people who are interested in entering this market. It's a once in a lifetime chance to work at the cusp of a technological revolution in financial services, and being a part of that is incredibly rewarding and humbling. And so for me, we're hoping to hear for some more good news on regulatory clarity from other areas and jurisdictions. And so all of it is positive, considering that we had the industry had a tough year last year from some of the scandals that happened and the growing pains that happened as this digital asset ecosystem continues to iterate, grow, improve, and get more responsible and more mature to kind of build this foundation where we have more institutional adoption. And so this virtuous cycle is leading me to believe it's going to be an exciting year ahead in terms of the innovation we see and the price action. And yes, while crypto is one interesting game in town, there are many other types of digital assets that are yet to emerge. On the tokenized asset side, within DeFi, stable coins and central bank digital currencies. And, we will be able to play a role in connecting our customers to all of these different types of digital assets. And so I'm excited to see what happens on those fronts as well.
Yes, I agree with you, Samar. And before we wrap up, can you just tell our audience what's the best way to get in touch with you? And if they're interested in also playing a role in this growing ecosystem and maybe they want to join Talos, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so if anyone wants to learn more about Talos, please visit our website, www.talos.com. And we've got a whole bunch of content in there that will explain what we do and how you can get involved in testing out our platform or arranging for a demo. If you're someone that's interested in learning to explore a job at Talos, within our website, we also have a list of our open roles. And, we're always looking for great talent that's hungry and knows about technology and capital markets and wants to contribute to this, future of finance that we're all out here building.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today, Samar. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much, Ornella, for having me. It was lovely speaking with you.
And everyone, please make sure to reach out to Samar if you're interested and if you want to learn more about Talos. And stay tuned for the rest of Crypto TV.
Bitcoin is currently trading at $72,662. Ether's price is at $3,937 today. Render is up 20% this week, trading at $11.13 today. And the Solana-based meme coin Dogwifhat is up 24% today.
That is all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check out Talos and Hero.io if you're interested, and check out other coverage on Web3 TV. See you guys later.